Friday. You off your job. You got shit to do. What's happening? I'll let you in a minute. I got the self situated. Man, ain't gonna lie. I'm one of them folk that don't check his credit score too often. I feel like checking your credit make it go down. Bad luck. But without further ado, how you living? It's a rough week. Can't even talk right. It was a rough week. It's one of the days. Wasn't even on purpose. Or it was done. So what? Just bathroom suffering. But made it back for the last 2 days, so soft clap. Bring more energy, boy, but I ain't ate all day, boy. All of it. Welcome to Friday episode, no cap. And I know Friday's a day people typically out mingling, doing their own thing. I wanted to slide this episode in here. Real uncut shit. Like regular folk, I watch podcasts, watch clips, watch videos, watch reels. I try to stay as far away from them as possible, content-wise, where won't do all that hooting and hollering and gaslighting and rage baiting. Rather have a legit conversation, right? Or present a complete thought and the thought process behind it. That way, folk can have the idea and the logic instead of just leaving just enough for you to nibble at it and want more. Hate that. And one of the things that folk always do is, well, you need to do this. You need to do that. People don't do this. People don't do that. People should do this. Your fault. Finger pointing back and forth. Of course, they don't really give you the ins and outs of why or any of that. It's my opinion, so respect it. I'm gonna give you an experience, right? Story time. Back in my college days, when I was way more social than I am now, I was always into sociology, but didn't understand what sociology was yet. So I maneuver amongst different crowds, dress differently, carry myself differently, interact with different folk, just to see what kind of reaction was gauged. Who wanted to interact with me, who I wanted to interact with, vice versa. And I learned an important, real important lesson about society as a whole from personal experience and not from the class. Perception is everything. How people see you determines how they treat you. How people experience you determines how they remember you. What people expect of you has to correlate with what people receive from you. Otherwise, people fill in the blanks with the wildest shit. You can't leave nothing to the imagination no more. To be specific, right? Because it's the last episode where I speak cautiously. From here on, being direct, very direct with what's being said. Make sure I can be heard right. Bet cool the volume right. Back when my youth, I used to do whatever I wanted. Not be considerate of any of the consequences, who it impacted, how it impacted them. Did as I pleased. And wouldn't you know it, had women by the flock. Like, had more than I asked for. Interested, chasing, curious, looking after, all of those things. But the minute I became more conscious and aware, and I started behaving more intentionally and more respectably, women fell off. Craziest thing ever, right? So I went from living a faster life, eating what I wanted, eating where I wanted and what I wanted, hanging out whenever, really moving and grooving, shaking hands, kissing babies, saying what's up, being seen in the spot. I never drunk, never smoked, but I'd be in a party just to, hey, what's happening? See who's in there, make my rounds, get up out of there. Every week, everything changed. Everything changed. Stopped going to parties, but I would still be, of course, it's college, still be seen around campus, but more scholarly, doing a lot more community service, doing a lot more volunteer work, carrying myself differently, communicating differently, interacting with the same people, but getting different reactions. Not having the crowd follow you, people not looking after you no more, not curious and interested in what you got going on, but carrying yourself respectably, like you have a goal in mind. The keyword intention, because it's a popular word, being intentional. Real social media trendy right now. But the more intentional I got, the less attention I got. More intention meant less attention. And I took that with me. Because years later, that shit still rings true, not just for myself, but for the masses. And the title of the episode is what it is. So I'm not going to promote any of what I'm going to say to you. I'm not going to try to lean you toward one direction or the other. Not going to try to even take this as advice. I'm just going to talk from my own experience of when I chose option A, here's what happened. When I chose option B, here's what happened. So if I want the results of option A, here's what I did. I wanted the results of option B, here's what I did. And then letting everybody else take from that what they want. And again, for men, wrapping up the week, this conversation, men's ears. Because I want to see if anybody experienced the same experience I had or shares a similar perspective or a completely different perspective. Need that. But folk who are going through life in a similar fashion. Dating today is the worst shit ever. Worst idea you can have. Why? For what? Married who? But if you're not already partnered or married, the majority of folk think like this, where chemically, biologically, I crave it. But if I had to just choose and make it a logical decision, hell no. Ain't no way. Because it's unrealistic for men. My experience with dating, right, has been crazy. Because, like, going back to college, I'm maneuvering differently, just seeing what reactions cause what reactions, what mannerisms invoke what behaviors. What am I seeing? What am I experiencing? What is being broadcast and advertised in front of me? And how do I receive it? How do I process it? And how do I feel about it? You a man, again, you got two options: date, don't date. If you married, if you partnered, if you have no interest, don't date. Boom, end of it. But you can still comment because perspective doesn't hurt. If you're choosing to date, dating for two purposes, one or two purposes. Casual because you just want some pussy, or intentional. This one, frowned upon by women. This one, hated by women. Disgusting. Uncomfortable. So going into it, you already know straight up. One is seen as disgusting and looked at side eye. The other one is a renege waiting to happen. Why do I say that? When you dating intentionally, everything has to have a purpose, not just for yourself, but for the person you're interacting with. So when you see the words not match up with the actions, if you're interested with somebody, the only thing that can happen is correction, adjustment. Because remember, you stand intentional. Guess, again, coming from a black man, guess what you can't make no black woman or woman do? Correct themselves, because you cannot criticize. So if you're intentional and the people you're interested in aren't as intentional as they think, and you can't criticize, you go back to step one: date or don't date. And a lot of black men specifically are going through that cycle right there, where you go option A, option B. Boom, I pick A. Bet. Option one or option two. Boom, I pick option two. Option two is unavailable. Option A or option B. And you go through that cycle over and over again until you pick option B and give up, or you pick option one and you vilify it. Because there is no option C and there's no option three. It's just A or B, one or two. I know what a lot of women will hear because I communicate with women, I listen to women. I'm real empathetic, sympathetic, and always looking to learn. So follow that train of thought all the way to the station, then back the other way, just to make sure I didn't miss any of the scenery along the way. The quickest answer you hit is, well, maybe that person just ain't for you. But that assumption is under the guise that the experience you're having is individualized. It's not a mass concept. It's just this individual right here is stubborn and does not align with who you are. And the truth of it is, majority do not align with who you are or what you want. But the same majority are demanding that you be exactly who you are. But they want you to go about it differently. And this conundrum is what leads men to go option A, option 1. I just want some pussy. And option 1 comes with a lot of sneaky behavior. Yours intentional, but you're not very direct. Option 2, you got to be direct. But see what we getting at right here? Again, don't date. Boom. All right, bet, cool. So stay single forever. The chance of that is slim, super slim. Humans were designed to reproduce. So option A is the normal choice. So again, you're going through the cycle. Repeat. Option 1 or option 2. Here's what option 1 looks like. You just want something casual. I'm gonna interact, get to know you, do whatever I can just to sleep with you. And dealing with the same crop. So doing whatever you can means I'm not looking for the same thing you looking for majority of the time. But I got to play along like I do. I don't agree with any of your opinions. I don't agree with your perspective. I don't agree with your attitude. I don't like how you carry yourself. We got to act like I do. I couldn't care less if I never saw you again after I get what I want. But I'm going to act like I do. Seems sneaky. That's why I looked at side-eyed. You're not being real. You're not being honest. Oh, well. I'm being intentional. That's how option 1 works. You get to a point where I'm not trying to convince you to meet me where I'm at, where you said I should be at. I'm not going to convince you to meet me there. Instead, I'm going to meet you where you at, and you're going to keep repeating the process of going through the same thing over and over again until you finally figure it out that you weren't a good option for anything other than that, or you go back to option A or option B. Because the number one sign of maturity is being able to be taught and being able to teach. So being able to receive criticism, and also important, being able to self-correct. Because as a man, you see how it goes, whether in person or online dating. There's a long list of expectations waiting on you. Long list. You're like, all right, bet, cool. Once upon a time, you used to look for a second list of what can you do for me? But now that list is off the table because it doesn't matter what I can do for you. You should be lucky to be around me. Because, man, you've experienced this where that I am the table shit. I am the table for us immediately means I'm not taking you serious. But if you're attractive enough, I'll entertain you long enough to fuck. And then I'll show you how unserious you are. We know how I go. Because there's a lot of things that women do that we experience where psychologically, mixing two words, psychologically and subconsciously, either one of those, men check out on taking you serious or taking a woman serious. I am the table, which is a euphemism for you should be lucky to be around me. I don't have to do anything for you. I bet cool. If you serve me no purpose, then I'm going to use you for what purpose you do have. Something you were born with, something you don't get to choose. You get to choose your behavior. You get to choose how you interact with people. You don't get to choose how you was born. So the part of you that you have no input in, I'm going to make the most out of that. Because you as an individual, terrible. You as an organism, useful. Then after that, I am the table. It's I deserve. You don't deserve shit. Humans don't deserve anything. You earn everything. But you're raising your daughters to be independent she-woman man-haters that believe that the world is supposed to bend one knee before them. Life teaches you the reality of your situation. And even though this is for men, the realization is life is tougher on women because your consequences come when it's already too late to reverse them. As a woman, as a man, our consequences are heavy, but can be worked through. A woman's consequences, final. And that's tough on them. But again, as a man, if you're dating, it's not your problem. Your job is not to raise anybody. Your job is to grow with, accommodate for, collaborate with, but to raise, nah. The thing about sitting down at an adult table and trying to date is you shouldn't be teaching somebody how to set the table properly. And then once you get past the initial blunt force trauma of foolishness, then you get to the subtle buck breaking of men, where a common behavior that a lot of folk don't pay attention to is what's seen as attractive, or the game that is often being played, especially in this social media generation, is how much of yourself can I make you throw away for my sake? How much of your morals are you willing to throw away to be with me? How many rules, how many laws are you willing to break to be with me? Biblical or man-made, which is what I got on the board with me, right? Because everything I say is no cap. Facts. Real experiences, real information, real logic. So, to the board. When I say that it's real common for women to see how much the things that make you a man today's women see how much of that can they compromise, which is weird because they claim they want a man, but any male that entertains them must be willing to throw away the things that are the foundation of his manhood. A common request when you dating: fly me out. Are you willing to fly me out? Some celebrities do, and social media age, anything that starts with celebrities trickles down to normal people because they aspire to that lifestyle. They aspire for that aesthetic. Knew this a long time ago, like a real long time ago, but R. Kelly and the Diddy trial should have taught a lot of this to you. Fly me out is, yes, it is sex trafficking. If you fly somebody over state lines, that's, I believe it's federal. Don't believe me? Sex trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, or transportation of someone for commercial sex. So, transporting and keeping someone who you intend to have sex with. Well, commercial sex, she's not selling it. The contrary. The purchase of an airplane ticket can be considered payment. Paying for a hotel can be considered payment. Any financial investment in you financially investing in someone being recruited, being harbored, or being transported for sex, knowingly having sex with them, is sex trafficking. You can go to jail for a long time for this. And as much as men know it now, women know it because women are into celebrity gossip more than men. So they understand this to be true. But how much are you willing to risk of your freedom? Not just the laws, not just your morals. How much of your freedom are you willing to risk in order to entertain me? I need me a shark sugar daddy. It ain't tricking if you got it. Need some money on. What your pockets looking like? Break bread. All of that. Prostitution. It's all prostitution. Engaging in sexual activity for payment. Engaging in sexual activity for payment. If she suck your dick and you buy a large fry, you just prostituted. Take her on vacation. Prostituted and sex trafficked. And this is the kicker, right? Majority of sex trafficking isn't between strangers. It's between friends, family members, and people you already know. So you can sex traffic with your own girlfriend. But these are requests of women, right? Whether you pick option 1 or 2, these things on the list need to be flown out, need to be able to go on vacation. You got to spend a bag on me. You need to sex traffic me and prostitute me. I'm just going to use social media euphemisms to make it sound good. And the only thing that separates these from being crimes and just falling by the wayside is, how does that woman feel about you today? That's why This week I've been telling men, you gonna have to stand on business and tell them to shut the fuck up, get out your face, and stand on your morals. Because the minute you adhere to these outrageous, like dangerous requests, you shifted control because it's a power thing. They now have control over your freedom. So y'all participate in any of this, you get into an argument, shorty can legit call the police and have you arrested because you knowingly broke the law. But it was because it doesn't matter. You agreed to something, you participated in it. Crime. And in a more cutthroat, toxic world where folks' attention spans are shorter than ever, their emotional intelligence is lower than ever, and their decision making is more sporadic than ever, you trusting somebody that you chose option one with your future. You got to be a dummy. Don't do it. Stand on business. Or you're going to be down bad. And with that being the case, going back to option one of just want some pussy, or option two, being intentional, regardless of which option you choose, once you participate in interacting with a young lady, you in a feminist world where the facts of what happened are secondary. The thing that matters the most is how she felt, how she feels. Whether those feelings be valid or not, feelings come before logic. Case in point, the T app. A lot of men know what the T app is, but don't really know what the T app was intended for. They just know what it's being used for. If you were to search it, the tagline that pops up is, T app is for dating safety of women. But if you think about it, why would it be needed? Because you can search my case to look up any criminal history of somebody. If somebody's a sex offender, you can research that. It has to be made public information. It's because it's not for extreme cases. It's not being used for extreme cases. It's being used for not quite a crime, but I need to say something to somebody and gossip. It's that gossip range of existence. Instead of for dating safety of women, T-App is like a gossiping blog where if you have any frustrations with any male that you've dated, come on the app. Tell us about how you feel about this individual. And again, it's an app just for women, so you are not allowed to defend yourself. If somebody's passing along false information, the app is not there for defense of any of these claims. It's just an open forum for people to throw smut, dirt, mud upon your name at their own discretion, being that they're a woman. So you choose option one. You just want some pussy. You're probably on the T app, especially if you went through the process that I spoke on where you just validate everything they say. Just, yeah. Cool. Bet. I'm out of here. On the T app. You chose option two. Be intentional. but you get into a conversation where, yeah, this is not really going to work because your actions don't align with what you said. You invalidated me. You've embarrassed me. You've made me uncomfortable. You also are going on the T app. So your only option for not being on the T app is to be in all women's good graces, or to interact with as minimal amount of women as possible and stay in their good graces. But on the side note, what folk don't know is, if you have any female cousins, any female friends, any sisters, aunts, anybody who has access to the T app, and folks are spreading misinformation about you, you can sue them. Not just the individuals that said it, but the app overall. You can sue everybody for defamation. So, of course, they have the freedom to post the information, but they're not free of the consequences of posting said information. If there is no legal proof of you committing a crime, then people are not allowed to publicly smear you without consequence. So if you're on the T app, sue the app. Because there's always going to be consequences. And remember, with women, the problem with their consequences is by the time their consequences come, it's too late. So find out you're on the T app. Someone speaking negatively about you, if they're defaming your reputation, they're sullying your name, you're being disrespected in a public forum, that's a lawsuit. Sue their ass. T app will be gone in a year. Men started finding that information out, started suing. It'd be the end of that. Because you posted your opinion is now leading to you owing this man, and you basically working to pay off college loans with no degree. And to get away from option one, this is a real option two situation where you're intentional. You make decisions that lead toward the long-term goals that you have for yourself. You have structured your behavior, your mannerisms, your hobbies. You have structured your life into the direction that you want to go. And a potential partner can't interrupt your long-term goal. Because, again, setting goals and accomplishing goals is what make you a man. Those are masculine principles. But that requires you not to just be intentional, but to be in control of every facet of your life. So to be masculine is to discipline, to provide structure, to set goals, to accomplish goals. Means to be in control and to be controlling of your environment. You cannot protect what you cannot control. Cannot provide for what you don't control. You cannot plan for what you don't control. But being controlling is a derogatory term in dating, because controlling is what people say when they want a negative reaction. When they want a positive reaction, they say you're disciplined. You're intentional. See how to switch? You change the adjective up, you get a different response. Nah, when I do not agree with your decision making, when I'm not on board, now I have to add a negative connotation to you. You're controlling. And to be controlling is to have power over something or someone. So you cannot be controlling over somebody who doesn't give you permission to. which is a tough part about dating, right? Because for you to have an expectation of me to lead and be a leader, and then within the same breath call someone controlling, being controlled is voluntary. So a lot of situations that you hear about with relationships getting muddied is you could have just walked away. You gave me permission to do this, and now you're complaining about me doing it. Another interaction that makes folk go from option A, option two, back to A or B. Bet. One or two. One. Because truth is, a lot of women that you're going to interact with are unintentional, but have a lack of self-awareness. And in dating, the term equally yoked isn't you need to make the same amount of money. It means you need to come into a situation with a common understanding of what's expected, communicating on the same wavelength, moving at the same pace in the same direction. You don't have to have the same goals, but if you with me, we in the same car, I can't be going 70 and you going 65 because then we not in the same car. And a few of the things that make a lot of men go from option two back to restarting a cycle, I'm gonna go through a list, right? One, I'm a child of God. A lot of things like religion is a big problem because the first thing people do when they hear about your religious choice is fact check. Okay, I know these things to be true about, let's say, Christianity. I see you constantly sinning or going against things that are openly known from the Bible, and you're just okay with it. Like, yeah, I know it's in there, but mm, what do you mean by Christian then? What do you mean by child of God? Because you not giving forth the effort, your behavior don't match up with the title. How you acting not matching up with what you saying. I've had a situation where women be completely tatted up. I'm like, how you gonna talk to me about going to church when you're not supposed to? You've marked up your skin. You go to church, right to brunch, and go get drunk. You eating everything that come out the water, and I'm pretty sure that, like, yeah, you're not supposed to be eating that. And the response has been the same every time because this is not a one-off. This has been hundreds of conversations, thousands of conversations, and in public forums, this has been expressed as a common experience. That's that Old Testament. I just believe in New Testament. So now you picking and choosing what you believe in, and you adjusting it based on your comfort level. Not a child of God. You're manipulative. That'll make somebody go from option two, boom, reset. I want a man that leads. Okay, bet, cool. But I need to be able to do what I want. Reset. You gotta be real intentional when you come at me. Have a date already set up. Have a plan already set up. Have some flowers when you're ready. Why? I don't know you. What makes you think you deserve flowers? I deserve them. Reset. man, I want I want somebody that's just gonna be here for me. Yeah, I got kids, but you shouldn't have to worry about that. I'm looking for somebody that I can grow with and build with. How you want somebody that you want to build with and grow with, but will have no consideration for your kids? Reset. I need somebody that acts like this, thinks like this. Reset. If you voted, you better have voted for so and so. Reset. I like to smoke. Reset. If you don't smoke weed, we're not gonna get along. Reset. And this is a common thing, right? Even with the weed thing, because part of being feminine is smelling good. Weed doesn't smell good. The whole selling point for weed was what stinks the most. Inhaling smoke does not smell good. Smoke does not smell good. You're drying out your mouth. You're killing the cells. You're killing the nerves. You're dehydrating yourself. The biggest source, the biggest purpose, biggest cause of bad breath is dehydration. It's unhealthy. So even the man that smokes is, you got to be doing something that makes me look past the fact that you don't prioritize your health. And these are just things off the top of the head where men will psychologically do this and not think about it, because moving off instinct, I already understand that you somebody that I can't be around long term, or I wouldn't trust to make decisions for me. So every time we get to option 1 or 2 and I choose 2 and I see something I don't like, reset, go back to A or B. Y'all can tell me if I'm lying. Maybe I'm just the only one who thinks like this. I'm the only one who's interacted with men, and I'm speaking on behalf of these 3 men out of hundreds of millions, these few black men that have ever had this experience, and I'm just talking out the side of my neck. Maybe that's the case. Having multiple baby daddies. Reset. The unfortunate thing about dating, right, especially with black women, is men are prone to choose option A. Option B means I've completely given up on society. So we're prone to pick option A. The difference between option 1 and option 2 is genetics. The thing that you do not control, the thing that you were just born with, will allow me to sleep with you or make me attracted to you. The shit that makes you you is what makes me not take you serious. And then you'll see a lot of women, well, men hate women. Oh, no, 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 no. Men are naturally predisposed to being attracted to women. And then get to know you and realize that I don't like what makes you you. I love women. I don't like you. And the problem isn't that men don't like women. The problem is a lot of you women act like women who men don't like. And the thing about sex trafficking and the prostitution, right, is a lot of women will take money being spent and equate that to a healthy relationship. No, no, you thinking about that the wrong way. With prostitution and sex trafficking, is you being paid to leave, not getting paid to stay. So if he constantly paying for you, that means he's constantly paying for you to get from around me. Folks took me to so and so. Yeah. And when you got back, where is he now? Men, I know how men act. I know how men think. I know how we get down. And we're not going to tell the truth because then you don't get to make option A or option B. You're like, dang, you're already taking option 1 or option 2 away from me just by how you act. And now you're going to get to the point where you're taking away option A or option B. Yeesh. Got to be able to control something. And if I can't control my own decision making on my own future, it's going to get shiesty out here. Unfortunate fact of the matter is, men are going to continue to move like this because if you think about it, women are prey, men are hunting. When your prey adjusts, you adjust. The prey doesn't adjust to the hunter. I don't feel like going out that far, so you got to come to me. That ain't how it works. Bet you climbing trees now, so guess what I'm doing? Aiming at the motherfucking sky. You want to swim now? Bet I'm about to go get me a boat. You like being in fast cars and make you wet. I'm about to go get me a fast car. We want to go on vacations. We want to be fed. We want somebody that's going to validate everything that I say all the time. Bet. And you can get that short term because there's only so long that you can keep up acting out of character before that just becomes your character. And men always press that ejecto-ceto cuz whenever it's time to go back to, all right, let me be me. So man, we definitely are actors. But for good reason. We can be sneaky and manipulative. But for good reason. But even though you got a good reason for it, don't mean it still ain't weak as fuck. Being manipulative to choose option 1, that's weak as fuck. Being sneaky, weak as fuck. Feminine as fuck. Be a man. Stand on it. Hey, I'm interested in dating. I'm interested in dating intentionally. Same way you got a list of expectations, here's my list of expectations. If you don't come up to it, oh well, you're not good enough. I just one man. A group. Well, we don't need no man. All right, bitch, bad, cool. Y'all will figure it out soon enough. Stand on something. Because right now, ain't nobody standing on nothing. Women being sneaky, men being sneaky. Everybody just snakes in the mud. Be a man, stand on it. And when you get that, you're going to get the pushback. It's going to come. But it ain't going to kill you. Think about the good you'll be doing for yourself in the long run. You got a bunch of women you're not attracted to. Bet. I'm not attracted to none of y'all, and here's why. Well, fuck you then. All right, bet, cool. The same way option A is your first choice. It's their first choice too. And when you standing on something, it's logical. It's who you are. When you stand on who you are, you ain't got to adjust. You just get to be the best version of you. But on their end, they impulsive, regardless of who they are. There's a lot of strong women that do a lot of weak shit with no excuse on why. Just felt like it. So a lot of quote unquote unsavory, unattractive, weak ass women will start having the impulse to start doing some stand up shit. And it's not coercion, it's just motivation. You ain't even got to be critical. I'm not going to talk to you down as an individual. I'm just going to say, If you ain't this quality of woman, I can't do nothing with you long term. And here's why. A many rappers once said this line, and it's never failed to be true. Right? Because the title of it was Shooting Fish Nets in a Barrel. Getting women is easy. Super easy. The hard part is trying to determine whether you want to keep her or not. You got to be aware of that. And even then, it's not as hard if you're aware. It's simple. Yeah, you're not with the program, so I'm not fucking with you. Yeah, I don't like how you acting. I'm not fucking with you. And the funny thing about it is a lot of men are about to start dating younger because with how women are treating their bodies, they aging faster. So the looks are fading faster. If they only here for looks, that means they gone when your looks gone. You had a baby, now that extra skin, the wrinkles, but you were treated with such high esteem for so long. Now you just can't realize why you ain't getting the same level of attention. You know the answer why she not getting that attention, so tell her. I don't want nobody, baby mama. The whole purpose of us getting together is to start a family, and you already started one, so I'm good. That's like going to dinner and, yeah, they already started eating that, but they left it. Let me sit down and just start eating that now. I could still be full, but eating off somebody else's plate. Be honest. Tell them that. You smoke a lot. You drink a lot. Your pH is off. You use too much makeup. I don't know who you even are for real without the makeup. The wigs, the fingernails, the lashes, the tooth gems, all the fucking piercings everywhere. Disgusting. It's not attractive to look at. I'm not interested in that. Tell them. You don't know how to listen. You don't know how to converse. You're not really intelligent. You dumb a little bit. Let them know, but respectfully. You entitled to shit. So if you entitled, you can't help me build nothing. Can't sustain with you. You're going to be bleeding me. Tell them. And pushback is going to come. But the pushback is going to come anyway because they're women. Women complain and gossip. That's just what they do. She always tripping. She can hate your fucking guts, but she loving the pimping. Remember that. Yeah, Monday. Yeah. Yeah.
bro, dude.